And hello, this is Snezzy, and we're here with a wonderful little game of Starcraft2. It's more of a test than anything else, but we'll give it a go and see how it goes. Shall we continue? Okay, currently we're looking at 2 players, or 4, playing a 2v2 on Distant 4. Our wonderful little Terran player is CJ is me. I will bring up our wonderful little unit count so you can see. The other player is also obviously a Zerg and is myself. This is a relatively long game at 44 minutes, so I won't record all of it, but I'll just record some of it to see how it goes. Okay, opening maneuvers. First of all, obviously, straight away getting into gas is a basic Terran start, putting it up to 7 SUVs almost at the beginning. Our Terran player, our Protoss player up top, straight away starting to gun with 9 to 10 now probes. Immediately coming into the offensive, also the top Zerg player with 10 drones compared to myself's 1. Also with 2 overlords straight off the bat. Now 11 drones, and then back to me. I'm currently only bringing a spawning pool now, a bit slow on the start but not too bad. Current resources is at a relatively nice spread. The AI definitely using theirs probably a bit more effectively than us in comparison. CJ is definitely getting a bit of an advantage there with resources, with myself with absolutely no gas. So up comes my extractor run out. Coming in too with some extra drones, and then back over to our one of Protoss player now. He's setting up a single gateway and a simulator and already 2 of our pylons. Also sitting up there with 14 drones, so he's definitely going there for a resource spurt. There's 2 overlords still, hasn't spawned more, but he's only just hit into that spawning pool now. Resource wise though, he is beating most of us. Or at least CJ. He's beating CJ at this point in time. Yeah. At this point in time, my overlord has just reached them. I sent it out purely as a scouting set to at least see where they were, more than anything else. So at this point, they straight away have some Zerglings come out and basically head straight towards it. Cody's doing, CJ is doing a basic defense system of Terran, barracks supplied with 2 sub-depots on either side, if not 3, just to stop that flow if need be, and allow especially Zerg rushes to be held back. Okay, we'll speed this up a bit and let's see how much we get done. I'll put it up to 8 to max speed. As you can see, again they're amassing a small little army, 1 Zealot, and at this time small pod of Zerglings. Also, as they come up in front of us to hit us, the barrier, as you can see, is complete. So at this point they don't hit us very hard. Cody already has a Reaper, coming up, and I still currently have none. I do have an infestation pit though, however, going for, I believe, swarmers. So we'll see how this game goes. Obviously the top Zerg player going a basic Zerg attack, basic Zergling rush tactic. The Terran at this point, I'm not actually sure. They've got 1 warp gate set up ready to go up. They're not pushing up with any pylons, so it's probably just a basic build. CJ now with 3 Reapers and rolling. Plenty of resources coming in. However, Cody's only got 8. CJ's only got 8 SUVs. The probes up top on our Protoss player actually have 20 at this point. And this wonderful little hive has been constantly upgraded with this queen, currently to have 15 larvae. I myself only have 13 and 12 drones. The other buff player actually sitting at 23. Probably my mistake at this point. They have brought in 2 siege tanks by CJ too. It's going to give a hell of a lot of defense. And I've also brought up a creeper tumor with my queen. As you can see, my beginning maneuvers of a swarm host. I'll speed this up so I can see exactly how these guys. Yes, work. I've only just upgraded to Heart of the Swarm, so it's a bit new to me. Cody's sitting at 8, myself at 11, 2 Siege Tanks, 7 Reapers, and frankly the AI doing a lot better job than us at this point. But yeah, we were expecting that, so you're slowly getting there. At this point, at 13, almost 14 minutes, 13 and a half minutes, players basically shifted the majority of his drones over and made a second base. The Zerg at this point has no look to be doing that. However, oh no, I take that back. 15 minutes, the Zerg player has actually pushed down and made a second base. Neither of myself or CJ have actually moved at all this point to increase our base count. However, I have built a nice little plot of swarmers there, basically waiting, which actually comes into play a little later. Waiting obviously for some form of a rush or offensive. This this point has not happened. Obviously, it's a bit weird going over your own footage, but I try my best to show as much as I can as we go. Host Swarms is a relatively new unit to Heart of the Swarm. It's an interesting unit, basically a unit that allows you to burrow and then spawn these wonderful little locusts that actually only have 15 seconds to live, but do a really nice pot of damage. Really effective for what they are, but no. CJ currently moving his troops up to that left flank and around to the centre, more to just do a reconnaissance loop than anything. Constantly having these little overseers that come in to detect us, to have a look at us. As you can see by the unit count, the Zerg has a nice little spread of units, and the probes have a massive amount of units at this point in time. Myself still sitting on our 12 drones, and Cody's still on SCVs, counting at 8. I do have a nice little pod of overseers sitting there, which was all too useful, I'm sure. This point, Ultra Lisks have popped up on the AI side. Let's speed up a bit, and soon enough this ulti should actually head down towards us, and he does. Here it is, and I'll drop it back to normal speed. At this point we do have a nice little defensive. 3 spine crawlers and 3 spore crawlers are sitting basically just outside our base, or 4, my apologies. A Thor with multiple units from Reapers to Marines and a couple of siege tanks, a 4th spine crawler sitting on the left flank, as well as still my swarm hosts. Now my note that I've noticed that this is an Ultralisk and it's starting to hit us quite heavily. I cycle them, boost them, and send them out into the wonderful world, realising how much damage they actually do. It was certainly a wake-up call. I was very, very surprised to see it, but they actually do a really nice pot of damage. At this point the game's about halfway through. We'll do a recap. Drones, unfortunately, the AI is actually sitting on 40 with 2 bases. I'm still back on 13. I do have 7 swarm hosts, but it's not really effective. I've decided to start going over to Hydros, actually moving up to create a second base up here, which I do actually very, very little with, as we have a nice pod of troops, and I'm going to speed back down. At this point, this is when we sort of get to the point where I start bringing in more swarm hosts, and CJ basically just gets ready. Obviously I already have a small pod of troops outside, however I am just wanting to get a few more, a lot more, so as to create more of an army. I've actually shoved it up into this section of the map so as to just allow my troops to come in on the flank if need be. Obviously they are not a frontline troop, as they do have to be burrowed and charged actually. Again, a nice little way from the AI, but very inefficient. It's the amount of troops and the setting we actually have. We have high ground. I have my queen come over immediately and heal up this spine crawler. Again, this is getting towards the pointy end of the game, sitting at 27, almost 28 minutes of a 44-minute game. Speed it up again. Again, I've put creep tomb out just to fill in that little gap for my queen to be able to access that area quicker. At this point in time, myself and CJ actually share control of units, so we do have a spread. We have just designated the meeting point at this point in time, sending all of our troops over. Now, this is the first lovely little pod of medivacs, and we run into a first little troop that basically get devastated. My swarm host against the back, and I will just begin to shut up and let you watch how this unfolds.
Depleted. Mineral field depleted. Our allies are in combat. Depleted. Mineral field depleted. Depleted.
Okay, this is again basically the GG for this area. There was a second base obviously residing up in this corner. However, our troops collectively make very short work of it. At that point they did have two wall gates which could have been visually used, however they had not. Their main issue at this point in time obviously was the Zerg player, who actually had two bases down this side and a third one actually being built. There was the remainder of the Protoss here that we did actually run into as I started shifting my swarm hosts down, but that was quickly fixed and we had to then work out basically where the remainder of the players were. At this point in time, the first AI Protoss player this was actually surrendered and gave up. At this point in time, we then did spot one of them, and the second one continued around to actually start destroying. Again, I will slow down and shut up and just let you watch. Sadly, it wasn't a fast. Sadly, it wasn't a long battle. Obviously, at the time we realised that there had to be more left. We're unsure exactly where of, and at this point we had not seen this bottom left base. We did do scouting around immediately. My queen had decided to go walkabout. Unfortunately, CJ had grabbed hold of it and shifted it around. I'd managed to upgrade my overlords for speed, and as you can see, was immediately heading towards their base with a little waypoint I had put around the entirety of the base. Almost immediately, CJ, sorry. had already started shifting his troops out. My swarm host still sitting in that corner. Here comes my overlords, finally discovering that last base, and finally Vassal communicating and realizing what was going on. We have quickly decided that we would end it there, shifting my swarm host down quite fast, and CJ's the remainder of the army still sitting there, but soon enough tailing mine. As you can see, there's two infest pits and a spawning world already there. Obviously, CJ's Reapers get their pigment along with Viking. However, my swarm hosts, they get their burrow until they start the swarm. They have built that infestation pit, but with very little defense, practically no defense. There was they were gone at that point in time, and as soon as their lair decided that it was time to give up the ghost, it was GG. They managed to get clean out in that last 9 moments there, and GG, and that was it. So let's thank you very much.